Hey everybody, welcome to one of the last Sunday morning conversations that I have scheduled. It's kind of like a bonus episode. Uh, Today my guest is Lewis Parody. He's a commercial fisherman, he's a longtime triathlete, and he's a greasy pole champ. I thought it was a joke to begin with, the inside joke. No, it's real. It has a Wikipedia. So yeah, tune in. We talk triathlon, greasy pole, the whole nine. So thanks everybody, and I hope you enjoy this little bonus one.
Got it.
So close the other one out.
All right.
There's a time limit for 3 or more, but there's not for 2 people.
All right. So how do I do that?
I don't know. Are you using a phone and a computer or?
Yeah, I got a phone because I didn't. My computer's like not really set up. Is
okay,
that?
So on the computer,
all right.
just close out of the Zoom then, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. So I'm on the phone on both of them. Are they both closed now? One closed.
Yeah. Well, all right. We're good. We have
All right.
one.
We're good.
Mhm.
All right. Good. Good. All right. What's going on?
Another day in the life, man. I've just been writing and keeping busy today.
So where are you from anyway?
Originally, or where do I live?
Where do you live?
Atlanta.
No kidding. All right. How'd you find me? I was like, it was funny. It was just a random message. And I was like, okay. And I saw you're friends with Courtney and Ray, who are on my team.
Yeah. So, I'm followed by a lot of people, and I follow a lot of people. Like, I accept pretty much anybody's invitation if you look like you swim, bike, or run.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're not going to clog up my feed with political bullshit.
Yeah,
we all
I
have a
got
common interest. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'll accept it no matter what. So I don't know everybody that I'm friends with, but I mean,
Cool.
I follow it anyway. But when I was doing, you were going to be the last interview I do, and I'm like, greasy pole. I don't know what the fuck this is, but sounds like it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It is, yeah.
But yeah, I found you, dumb luck. I was just surfing through profiles, and I'm like, what is greasy pole? I said, I think I got to interview this guy.
Yeah.
So I guess, just for starters, how do you train for the greasy pole? Does the TT actually help you? No.
So, I mean, I'll kind of like start from like, I mean, the greasy pole is like, obviously it's in a few places in the country. The main one is in Terracini, Italy, which obviously is Italian community. So the town where I live and was brought up is a small fishing village. I think it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest seaport in the United States. And a lot of immigrants, a lot of Italian Americans started doing it in like 1927. They started having a festival for it's like to celebrate the patron saint of fishermen, St. Peter. And some of the games they did were like seine boat races. I don't know if you know what seine boats are, but they're the boats they used to have on back years ago. They used to use them. The fishermen would use those type of boats. So now they're kind of a novelty thing. So they use them to race. We have races with those. And then the greasy pole contest was originally brought over from Italy. It was something that they knew about. So they added that in. And then there's kids games and a bunch of other stuff. So like that, growing up as a kid, it's always been out in the harbor. It's always all the kids always looked out at it. It was just a telephone pole. And so we always used to swim out there, and we always waited for that time of year every year.
Is it on an island?
Yes, we're on a small little island right north of Boston. So that's kind of how it all kind of began kind of, and it's kind of like one of those things where you're not allowed to train for it, I guess. So like, I guess you get away with a lot of stuff when we're young kids. We can kind of do whatever we want, swim out there and do this and do that, and just we're always in the water, in the oceans. We're always, in the water. We're fishermen. Most of the guys over the years that did it over the 2 days, which they changed it to 3 now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, were fishermen's sons. You have people that walk for, guys that won years past that died that in their name and stuff like that. So it's not really a training thing. So basically luck, it was just like you found me as luck. I actually did it when I was a kid, and when I was older, I partied and I did, I hang out with my friends on the weekends, and just happened to be the year I actually ended up winning. I actually got into fighting for about, 7, 8 years. And
So
it was
is it how fast you can do it, or does nobody
no,
else get to
so
top?
so it's a 3-day event, and it's not how fast you can do it. Let's say there's anywhere from 30 to 50 guys out there each day, and you basically, everyone gets a chance to walk. It's a courtesy round. No one can win. Just kind of thing to put a show on for the crowd. And then after that, it's whoever gets it, gets it. Sometimes it goes one round. I had my cousin 2 years ago, before, or maybe, I think it was 2 years ago was the last time we had it because of COVID. He won all 3 days in a row, second round. So courtesy round, he was the first walker, he won 3 days in a row. So yeah, it's just whoever can watch it. And we have guys, actually, one kid that walks out there, Joe De Silva, he's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for the fastest walk. There's random things with it, stuff like that. We've had some guys from Japan come down from one of those crazy shows, walk it and video it, put it on their TV over there. So yeah, it's not speed. It's just, well, whoever goes out there, you get guys that walk it slow, you got guys that walk it fast, guys that walk it straight, sober, guys that walk it not sober, stuff like that. So I just happened the year I won to be sober. I was fighting at the time, and I went out there sober because I had a fight the next day, and I ended up winning. Slow. I was slow. I think I won it maybe 5th or 6th round. So it went on for hours when I won it. So
Is it vertical or is it horizontal?
no, it's horizontal.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a few around the world. There is ones that are horizontal. There's ones that are vertical. But like I said, the one that's mimicked after is the one in Italy, and it's out on us.
Does it cantilever over the water?
Yeah. So it's about, I'm gonna say, a quarter of a mile offshore. It's probably, I don't even know, a 50-footer, maybe. I'm gonna guess 50-footer. It's a regular telephone pole, and on a platform. And I'm gonna say it depends what the tide is. I mean, when it's super low tide, sometimes I'm gonna say this. It's got to be, I don't even know, 30-foot drop. It's so, and then sometimes you get high tides where the water's almost up to the pole. Depending on what you get these moon tides that are real high, or the opposite, real low. So, but yeah. So
I mean, how do they grease the pole? Like, do they have to go out to the end and grease it? What do they use too?
Yeah, so over the years, obviously 10, 20, 30 years ago, whatever, when environmental stuff wasn't as like crazy as it is now, you'd get the old fishermen, they'd get axle grease or any type of grease, they'd lather it up, they'd go out there with a boat at high tide. If it was high tide early in the morning, late in the afternoon, they go out there with that, and they just lather it up with gloves on and hammer a flag to the end, and that's how they did it every year. And then as the years went on, we started getting into more environmental, biodegradable grease. And you'll see, if you actually Google it, look over the years, like even like 7, 8 years ago, you'll see like dark blue and browns and reds and crazy real grease. And now as the years went on, we use biodegradable and white biodegradable, real hard, sticky grease. So, but the same concept. We go out there with a barge or a boat or whatever. Usually we get a good group of kids that go out there every year and volunteer, and they grease it up every night or morning, whatever it takes for the high tide. And they do that
grease
by
it
hand.
every day of the competition.
Every day, yeah, every day. Yep.
You have to do it multiple times a day.
No, and that's funny because the one in Terracini, it's mostly younger kids. They do it multiple times a day, but with us, it's once a day. Yeah, it's just a once a day thing. So it's every afternoon, probably like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll have the same boat races. Will go off. They'll finish, and then we'll do the greasy pole once a day.
So what happens when you Friday? Go ahead.
They usually do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually Fridays for the newer guys, and then if you win, you move on to the next day. And then if you win, you move on to the next day. So
what happens when you fall in the water?
Yeah, well, it depends. If it's high tide, you're good. If it's low tide, it depends. You're not falling where you're falling, you're paying attention to falling. Most guys that go out there, I think they're going out there to win. So you could fall upside down. belly flop, back flop, it's been pretty good over the years. I'm going to say injury wise, I don't think there's been anything crazy, but there's some craziness going on in the crowd. You hear them oohing and ahhing and screaming. You hear people laying between their legs a lot. Just it's kind of brutal.
It's like the entire crowd like been drinking all day too.
Yeah, so I mean that's a big thing with the Fiesta is it's a big celebration. So guys, most guys are pretty tame, but there's always a couple guys that aren't, so. And then sometimes some guys don't make it one walk and they swim in or they get, whatever. But we try to be pretty respectful. I mean, it is kind of dangerous. So
so I guess really the last question I have out of this is, what does the winner get?
it's nothing. You get nothing. No.
Not even a free round at the bar?
Yeah. So if you win, you usually you go out. Well, it's funny because, like I said, I had a fight the next night, even though I didn't fight. But so I ended up going out that night, and you pretty much drink for free at every bar all weekend. So I won on Friday. So it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You go out and drink all night, every night for nothing. That's pretty much what you get. You get a flag and you get bragging rights for the year, obviously, but pretty much it's a small town. So pretty much for the rest of your life, I could go down the street right now and walk into a store and see a guy. Maybe I only see once a year at the Fiesta. Maybe I don't see him even barely at the Fiesta, but he knows who I am because it's kind of a big thing. And they'll call, "Hey, champ, how you doing?" And it's the same with anyone that's won over the years. If this guy's won last year, the year before, 5 years ago, it's kind of a mutual thing. You'll say, "Hey, champ," "Hey, champ." So it's kind of like that's pretty much what you get.
Has the competition grown every year, or is it just kind of a steady number?
Yeah, it's grown. I'm gonna say back in the day, it was a lot of younger kids, like I said, a lot of young guys that were fishermen, and I think the older crowds kind of got into it, or the younger kids have gotten older, and it's actually grown. It was a Saturday and Sunday thing always, and the new guys kind of went on Saturday, or the friends of the Sunday guys. The Sunday guys were usually all the guys that won on Saturday. So it was full of winners on Sunday. So it got so big. They added a day. They added Friday. I think 1999 was the first year they added Friday, which was a good friend of mine walked that year, won all 3 days in a row. So he won Friday, walked Saturday, won Saturday, walked Sunday. So it's only been done twice. It was done in 99, and I think I want to say the last year we had it. I want to say 18, but I could be wrong.
Are you having it this year too?
We'll see. I mean,
when is it held?
It's held the last weekend of June every year.
Okay.
So the last 2 years they didn't have it. I mean, it's how everything's been. So
yeah, even with triathlons, it's been that way too.
Yeah. Mountain bike racing, triathlon. I think everything's been canceled, postponed, pushed out. So yeah, it's been definitely a crazy year for all that stuff. So hopefully, it's been 2 years now. This year, hopefully, they'll have it again. I'm retired.
All right.
So, I had a stroke about 5 years ago and I had to have brain surgery and all kinds of crap. I'm done. I'm done with that. No more fighting. No more greasy pole whacking my head off the pole.
I suffered a TBI when I got hit by a Tahoe. So.
I saw your last post, which I started digging around on it a little while ago. And I was like, oh man, like I just, because it kind of gave me that flashback. So I was like, oh, because I remember as the years went on, just like having conversations with people and just forgetting what I was talking about. And it's obviously getting better now. Like I couldn't even do this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I would just totally like blank. So I think it's getting better.
Yeah, the things that aren't going to get better, that are kind of permanent, I've kind of found ways to adapt.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of like a chimp with crude tools.
Yeah, well, people don't even know. They don't even know. They're like, what? And I look at them, I'm like, my whole right side is not paralyzed, but it's like, if you sat on your hand and it fell asleep, I go, my whole right side feels like that. They're like, what? I go, oh yeah. I said, look at all my bikes. I ride mountain bike, road bike, tri bike, all that. I go, every one of my bikes, the brake's on the left side, the rear brake, because I don't have feeling in my right hand, so I can't, and I don't have that reaction time with my brain to grab the brake. So I've learned how to use the mountain bike shifter. It took a long time to get really good at it, but my brakes are on the left side on all my bikes. And actually on my mountain bike, this company Hope made a brake system for like people like me and people that had TBIs and stuff like that. And so my brake levers on the left side, but both of them are on the left side. So it's got dual brake levers on one side. So I can grab them. I have my middle fingers on my front brake and my pointer fingers on my rear brake. So I can grab them both at the same time or modulate each one. Yeah. So like, so it's been what, 5 years now, and it's kind of like blended in. It's almost like you wouldn't even really know unless you knew, kind of. So.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. It's not like I sound like I have brain damage, but it doesn't sound like I have brain damage.
Yeah.
For the most part, I appear like a normal person. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't think people. I don't know if it's they don't understand, but they just. I don't know. I don't know. They don't get it. Kinda.
Well, that's the thing, right? Most people don't get it because, like your stroke and my TBI, they're invisible injuries.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
If you can't see it, when I snap my leg in half, you can see that. But if you can't see it, a lot of people just can't make sense of it. They think you're normal.
Yep. Oh yeah. And mostly it's people that I meet, like a lot of people on my team stuff. They have no idea, except for the big gigantic scar and indentation on the back of my head. They're like, what? They're like, what's that?
What you aim for?
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, it is what it is. I just been dealing with it. I've been trying to ride my bikes. It took me a while to get back at it, but I'm back on the bike. Not
That's
as
good,
fast
man.
as I used to be. Yeah, not as fast, but yeah.
Yeah, I got the same issue. I'm not as fast. So, for me, I was always racing the clock. It's like, I got to try to PR.
Yeah.
This year, I wasn't enjoying myself. Back to racing, I'm like, this is going to be great. And I wasn't enjoying myself. And then I raced a couple races in a banana Speedo. And I looked 80s. I had the sunglasses, the headband, the mustache. I was like, damn, that was fun. Kind of reinvigorated me again. Like,
I did the same thing. Yeah,
find a reason to make it fun.
Yeah, that's what I did. And it's funny, I have two friends. This kid George, not really done a ton of racing. I mean, he's raced small stuff over the years. And then a friend of mine, Greg, both of them raced, and I could see the spark and the fire. But I just look back at me and I'm like, I've done it all already. I've done Escape from Alcatraz. I've done, 9 Ironmans. I've done a million halves. I've traveled all over the world. I've raced in every country pretty much. And so I kind of lost it. So I had to this year not worry about like breaking 5 hours and a half every time I go out, but
same here.
Just kind of change what makes it fun for me. And actually what made it fun for me was watching these guys, seeing them progress, get fast, go Sherpa a guy at a race, help a guy out, whatever. That's kind of like my thing. I'm fine with not, if I can do a 12-hour Ironman, I'm fine with that. Some people can't even walk.
The only thing I've accepted that I'm at least significantly slower now. The only thing I've had an issue with is none of my friends got slower and I can't keep up anymore.
No.
So that kind of sucks. Wait, what do I do?
I know. And I'm big too. I think I was fighting at 160. So I was always fighting, making weight at 160. And I think I walk around at 180 right now. So I'm a big, short, stocky kid. And for me to be fast on my feet, I got to be 160 pounds. I can't. And it's just too much. It's too much now, just with everything. So trying to sneak in a little bit of fishing with my friend and trying to do a little bit of racing. And I joined that team Triumph. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're a small little team that's based all over the country. Great people, Everyone's positive. Love these guys. I've met a bunch of them. We had a team race this year out in St. George. Got to meet a bunch of them there. I think we're gonna have another team race this year in New York. Muscle Man. I don't even know what they call it, but seems like that's going to be the spot this year. I love it too because it's half Ironman, because I think the iron distance is it's just so much, to go there and have fun with people.
That's the
It's
thing
too
why I
much.
kind of retired from the distance. It's like, it's such a big training commitment. And I'm like, the 70.3 is a lot more manageable.
Yeah. My friend said it to me the other day. He goes, geez, I think I could do a 70.3 without training. I go, yeah, because you're in shape. You're in shape, and you swim, you bike, and you run. You're not going to go there and you're not going to crush 5 hours, but you can if you train. So, but you have to make that decision. All right, what's fun? To go home every night and kill myself, or go home every night, do something small, have dinner with my family and just relax, or just totally just be wiped out.
Tell you what, the way I found fun with Memphis 70.3 is I ate a shitload of barbecue. I had to take a couple of shits during the race. It's like,
hey, you know what? Hey, I just went out to Arizona with a friend of mine, and we did a 100-mile mountain bike race. And I mean, the stuff we ate before and after, I think I gained 10 pounds.
oh, I gained 15 pounds from the Halloween candy.
Oh yeah. So no, I think that's kind of where I'm at too. I feel like I could probably still be fast. Sometimes I feel a little spark here and there, but I'm fine. I'm fine with what I did. A couple more Ironmans, maybe I can go to Kona.
Maybe we'll see if Kona ever happens again, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going back to. So me and my friend, we went out to St. George. It was our team race, and I was out there 2 weeks before. I did the Zion 100. It was an ultra marathon. So went out there with a friend. We did that. Came back home. Had to go back out there, do the 70.3. So he went out there, but like a few weeks before that, or a month before that, I think he did Des Moines, Iowa, which I was signed up for. I just deferred it, and they shortened everything up. He ended up qualifying for the World Championships at that race.
That's the thing. Like, that's the one thing I forgot about. I hated getting slower. Is that this past year was, for a person like me with like double the slots, it was my year to make it. It's like, damn it, I'm not fast enough anymore. Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's so dim.
He had to go back out and do St. George again a few weeks, about a month ago. I laughed. He was bummed because it's not his style of racing. But that's what happens. We went to Hawaii one time, the 70.3 Hawaii. I think they give out 100 slots.
Plus, I'm like, they're Kona slots too. They're mixed in.
Yeah, they're Kona. Yeah, I think they do 50-50. So, I mean, he breaks 5. He's a 5-hour guy. He breaks 5 hours. And he went there and did like, I don't even want to look up the time. It's got to be close to 7. And I said, that's what happens. You finished though. You had a catastrophe and you finished the race. A lot of people quit. They just say, yeah, that's it. You finished the race. So, I mean, he made the worlds. I think his next goal would be to obviously qualify for Hawaii, which is a tough one. And I think personally, if someone's serious about it, I think 70.3 Hawaii is the spot. Not that it's easy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey man.
Anyways, yeah.
I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, this was cool. It was kind of neat. I was telling my wife, she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I will try it out. It'll be cool."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started doing these interviews back in April last year. Like, for me, I went through a breakup with my fiance, so I moved into my place, and my mutual friends disappeared. It's like, man, I am very isolated, and I had been doing the TBI vlog, and that gained some traction. I'm like, well, I'm gonna start finding people that sound interesting and just talk to them, because that was my form of interaction with people, and I talked to a lot of interesting people, and I mean, the Greasy Pole champ, you're one of the most interesting, but like there was a ringside fight doctor.
Yeah. Yep.
you remember Jim McMahon, the Bears quarterback?
Yeah,
Dude, he talked to me, and he
That's
he was
awesome.
really cool, and he asked me about my brain injuries. Like, man,
Yeah.
I like this guy. Yeah.
yeah.
So-
Well, I think this community is just awesome. I mean, I just do. That's why when I had my, when I got messed up, I took obviously a lot of years off. And when I came back, that's what I did. I digged around on Instagram and I found these cool, neat people. That's kind of how I found Team Triumph. And I watched how this group of people interacted. They were from, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, but they were all like family. But there was a small group, and I said, but not only them, but like just this whole tri community, endurance community. I'm like, that's kind of what got me back into it. And then, yeah, there's just so many neat people. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, but
Hey, man,
yeah, man,
I appreciate it.
I'll probably even see you around someday. You still racing half, so
Yeah. So, I'm kind of pissed off at Ironman because of Memphis.
yeah.
And I've raced like half of the 70.3s. I've done like 15, 16. Half of them have been independent races. And I really don't mind. I like it.
No.
So I'm probably going to switch to that. The thing is, due to COVID, I don't know how many are going to rebound. So we'll see what's out there like in February. So
Yeah. Who knows? Well, Ironman, I feel like Ironman. So I feel like one guy owned Ironman or whatever it was, company owned Ironman. I feel like they kind of not ran it into the ground, but ran it into the ground type. And then they sold it off. And then Ironman kind of brought it back to a, prominence. Like it was kind of like up there. And then I think they resold it back to the guy that originally.
yeah, I don't remember if it's the same.
I just heard
investor
a
group.
story.
But he was
Yeah.
on the board at the time.
Yeah.
That
I
guy
heard
is
they
a real
sold it
dickhead.
back to him.
I hate
Yeah,
that
and then-
guy.
Yeah, and then it's like back to. It's back to. I actually emailed them, I think 2 years ago, and I said,
Did you finally get an answer?
so it was 2 years. I swear to God, I think it was almost 2 years ago. So I said, not for nothing, I don't care. I got medals. I got hundreds. There's medals everywhere. I got stuff everywhere. But I don't know. This little things, they kind of mean something. I don't know. I like to have them. Maybe when my kids can look at them when I'm gone, whatever. But so I had all world athlete status years ago, like 2012, and I saw that I probably had like 8,000 points or something like that. So I think I would qualify for silver. So I said, oh, that's cool. So nothing ever came in the mail. And I kind of was like, I wonder what the deal is. So I emailed them. It took me almost 2 years. They finally emailed me back and said, yeah, that stuff went out. And I'm like, well, I never got it. And they're like, oh. So I actually was like, oh, I'm never going to get an email back. So I actually emailed them back and said, yep, that's my address, this and that. They actually sent me all world athlete, all the stuff. They sent it to me in the mail. They sent me 2 years. 2 years,
Oh,
like,
I
yeah.
emailed the CEO directly. See, I'm not stupid. Once I figured out it's first name dot last name at ironman.com, I just put in the CEO's name and I emailed it directly.
Yeah, they're brutal. Yeah, I don't. So I'm on a few groups on Facebook. So I don't think it's us. I just think it's them. I just think they're just getting bombarded and they just can't deal with it. So they just shut down. I mean,
Well,
that's
shit,
the only.
the workforce is all volunteers. I don't know how many people they actually employ. Like 5?
I don't
Because
know.
if you call their phone number, nobody ever picks up.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That Andrew Mesick, I see him at. Is that who it is? Is that the CEO guy? Yeah, I see him at races. I think he was just that Timberman. I had a friend that I Sherpa'd him up, Timberman. I think he might have been there. Like, I don't know. It's funny because when Rev 3 was around, when they were big, when they did like Costa Rica and Connecticut and Maine, and they had all these awesome races. I did them all.
I did Rev 3 Cedar Point.
Yeah,
they're only full.
Yeah, we loved them. Me and my wife flew out to Costa Rica one year. That was the first year they did it there. Did them all. And the guy, I think his name was Eric. He was great. He was like the CEO.
Eric Updike.
Yeah, Eric. He was like a nice guy. I remember talking to him multiple times, seeing him at different events, and he was always a good guy. I always sat there and had a second to talk to you, and I felt like that was great. And then all of a sudden, they just vanished. So.
Well, I actually, earlier in the pandemic, I interviewed him and I wrote an article on it. Essentially, the guy's name is Charlie Patton Jr. His
Yeah.
dad had a lot of money, and he lent him like, I don't remember how much money, a few $1 million.
Yeah.
Maybe 8. And their strategy was, we're going to pay pros well, and that's going to bring age groupers. Well, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then they ran out of money.
I know.
I don't know if you know, Rev 3 opened up a New England race this year.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a short race, right? A short.
No, it's
race?
a half.
Oh, it was a half.
Yeah, it's in
Oh,
Webster,
wow.
Massachusetts.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, I'm kind of just getting like I said, I'm kind of just getting back into stuff. And with the COVID stuff, I ended up mountain biking a lot this year and really getting into mountain bike. And I always wanted to qualify for the Leadville 100. Like that was always like a goal of mine. So I basically threw away triathlon for the last 2 seasons because there was no try, and concentrated on mountain biking. And that was my thing, was to get coin and to qualify for Leadville. So that was my last race in Arizona. That was what the purpose of that race was. That was the second to last race of the year to qualify for Leadville, and then the next one is Austin Rattler. But I'm all set. So I think November 1st I can sign up for Leadville. So
Awesome.
That's going to screw up my whole next year for try too, but I'm fine with that. I'm just looking for different. I'm to the point. I've done so much stuff that just as long as it's fun, I don't care. So if I have to do a couple of late season tries next year and stuff, and I get to concentrate on mountain bike and have fun and race my mountain bike in Colorado next year, I'm fine. So whatever. I deferred. I think I signed up for Alaska, and I had to defer that.
Honestly, I looked at that, and
Yeah.
there's not a lot of hotels, and they all suck.
Yeah.
There's not even a Hilton on that in Juneau.
Yeah. So me and my wife have always wanted to go to Alaska. So when I got the email way before they announced that they were going to have the race and that's where they were going to have it, we actually went on and got a hotel before the race was even announced. Didn't even really know if it was going to be a race.
I've done that before.
Yeah. So then fast forward, they announced the race. Now, me and a good friend of mine, both all set. We got the same hotel, all that stuff. They announced the race. We both signed up for it. Boom, we're in. That's fine. And then comes there's not enough hotels. They're bringing in cruise ship. It must be a cruise port there.
I don't know.
Somewhere
Alaska,
in that
I don't know
area.
Alaska all that well.
Yeah, I heard they were bringing in ships, and I heard all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna have no choice but to either defer, because I actually haven't deferred yet, but I'm deferring that race. As soon as November 1st comes and I sign up for Leadville, I'm going to defer that race. So whether I defer it to the next year or maybe a different race, we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, I think the sleeping situation is going to be a tough one. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, Alaska sounds cool, but I just don't think. I think it's poorly thought through.
Yeah, Juneau, Alaska. Who knows? I don't know.
There's actually a 70.3 in Alaska too.
That would be something. Yeah, that would be something. I feel like
I have been looking at that because it's north of Fairbanks. It's above the Arctic Circle. Yeah, it's in July. It's a really small race. It's less than 100 people, and it's like bare bones race. It's like a $50 entry fee. And they just do it to cover. There's no money involved. Like they're trying to make money. They're just putting it on for people in Alaska because they have no races.
That's awesome. They did that in the Great Lakes area one year. There was a couple of full Ironmans up there that weren't Ironman branded, and they did the same thing. Mm-hmm. They have like 30 people, So whatever. I mean, who knows? It was a strange couple 2 years. We'll see what happens with. I can't believe they announced new races this year with all that's been going on anyway. So
with all those new Ironmans, it's kind of compensating for the ones that they had sold already.
Yeah, I heard
they had to make money somehow.
I heard they got rid of so Ironman Maine was originally Rev 3 Maine, which I've done a bunch of times, and I
always wanted to do that race.
Yeah, great race. they always, so when Rev 3 did it, they had like a lobster bake. It was like this big to-do. And then when Ironman took it over, it was nothing. It was because Rev 3 had the, the big lobster clam bake, all that stuff. They had Olympic race the day before or the day after, I can't remember. So they made it like a bigger thing for people that weren't, into half Ironman. And once Ironman took it over, it just turned into just the Ironman. But I heard that that's it. This year was the last year.
Man, I fucking hate how corporate Ironman is and everything it does. It's like, it's just,
Yeah.
independent races, Rev 3, they had personality to it.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like, so Pumpkin Man, you can read it in the Triathlete magazines. Pumpkin Man was always, that's Maine. That was always like the marquee. That was like Maine. There was no races in Maine till Rev 3 came along. Rev 3 came along. They did Rev 3 Maine, whatever, but it was a different time of year. But Pumpkin Man was always this huge Halloween type, Thanksgiving dinner and pumpkins. It was always great. And I feel like once Ironman came in, it's almost like they like shut them down. And now it's just like this little piddly
That's
Olympic
part of the
sprint.
reason why I'm going independent, because I want to support them. And, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but to me, it's just doing the race. I don't care.
Yeah, it's funny because I think they have control. But they have control like the UFC has control of their fighters. It's like they're in control their way, but they're not in control. They don't. I just feel like there's a lot of pros out there that when you stop becoming a pro, that's it.
Yeah.
Like you're like a 40-year-old, like you got to get a job or do something. So it's like, yeah, that's great. You raced and you did all this ambassador for all these brands all these years, and now you're done. So there's no nothing. There's no pension. There's no. So who knows how it's all gonna add up. But I do see them adding these Collins Cup and all these other crazy races. So maybe these guys are getting money. Maybe they're making money now, making some big money. But I know most of these top pros that get sponsored, they're not really getting paid.
Yeah.
If you don't win, you don't get paid.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's cool to have a $10,000 bike for free, but is it? It's like, I mean, I have a $10,000 bike. I can't even, I can't break 10 out. So. All right, man. Anyways, this was awesome. I'll have to look at, what are you going to put this on YouTube or something? Are you going to cut it or not or what?
Yeah, YouTube. I recorded a bunch of them, so it'll go up later around December.
Cool. That's awesome. I'll have to keep my eye out for it.
I'll send you a
appreciate
link.
your, yeah, definitely. I appreciate you doing the interview. I thought it was neat.
If I fucking remember right with the brain injury, I got to remember it first.
Oh, I know. Believe me. I feel you. Believe me. I forget. I write things down. I got Post-its. I had the Post-its on my. So
My ex hated Post-its.
I got them everywhere, but I have to. So this is like my pain cave, office, laundry room, whatever. I got Post-its everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey,
man.
All right.
Good luck with. Are you still doing rehab too?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm on and off. I'm kind of like on and off. Not really. Yeah, doing it, not doing it. I mean, I feel like it's been long enough now where I'm like,
don't really need it.
It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I just feel like I've always been in endurance sports and I've always been into exercise and weightlifting. And I feel like sometimes when I go in there, not them people helped me when I was like, I couldn't even squeeze a clothespin, like type of stuff, like to, where I am now, but I'm just not too, I'm smarter than them.
Yeah.
When it comes to exercise and stuff like that. So I do my own thing. I rehab myself every day. Every day I'm working out. So that's my deal. But anyways, all right, man.
Take it easy. Good luck with the fishing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.